everyone, welcome back to my channel. Christine here if you are new. Today I'm finally giving my outdated kitchens a cozy, traditional refresh. For the longest time I kept neglecting the space because it didn't speak to my style, but it's one of the hardest working, most used space in my home. I'm bringing it back in life one session at a time with thrift kitchen decors, blue and white accents, vintage metals, warm wood tones, and everyday item we actually use. It turned out to be collective, vintage-inspired charms, and actually practical. So I cannot wait to show you and come decorate with me. First, I moved to build a cozy coffee bar in this corner. This is usually where our mornings begin, so I wanted to feel calm, inviting, and like a gentle little ritual we return to every day. I started with this wooden riser from HomeGoods, placing our sparkling water machines and Nespresso on top. It works perfectly for us right now. We've thought about upgrading to an espresso machine, but in these seasons of life, simple and effortless just feels right. On the left, I layered a few sweet cookbooks. I brought in this Thai cookbook with a soft blue cover to quietly introduce that color, then start a couple more, letting this roasting cookbook face outward because it felt too pretty to tuck away. I also hung a thrift tea towel here. The soft blues and simple grit feels timeless and easy to layer. It adds softness, a little movement, and draws your eyes outward in the gentlest way. On the right side, I started by layering a checkerboard serving board from Magnolia along the backslash, with a vintage silver plate in front of it. In front, I placed this antique cake stand as a small display for mugs and tea sets I'm loving in the moment. Lately, I've been so drawn to blue. It feels calm, nostalgic, and little romantic. So this became a space where I can actually use, see, and enjoy the pieces I've been collecting. I layered a few favorites here. 40 cups with delicate blue detailing and a sweet monogram moment. Blue striped Magnolia mugs with rusting charms, and this blue and white teapot paired with a teacup from a separate trip. Together, they have that European storybook feeling, and the variant heights keep everything connected through the soft blue palette. To softly cover the outlets, I added the simple still life blended piece from the Hearth Hand Magnolia light. It has that subtle old world textures and it's light enough to move whenever I need access. Through the center, I layered a few pieces against the backslash. This handle trees with a golden ice illustration, bringing that vintage natural starry feeling, and a serving board I've had for years. The mix of wood, marbles, and warmer tones feels grounded against all the blues and white. In front, I added two more thrift cookbooks. The bottom one, Love Real Food, has this beautiful clean spine and minimal lettering, while the warmer tone book on top helps ties everything together. I also brought in these two antique sparkling blue canisters for our coffee pots, that roast and decaf, the ones we reach for the most. They feel charming and playful, tie into the blue and white themes, and keep everything within reach without opening and closing cabinets every morning. And I added a couple of antique coasters. They have these sweet storybook charms, and I kept the blue one on the top to carry the story through in a small, nostalgic way. Next to the stand, I placed this blue and white plate to hold my water boiler. The detailed stains and floral borders add that colored heritage tones, while the white ties in beautifully with the rest of the setup. To finish, I added this vintage clay jar as the base. The earthy texture grounds the arrangements, and paired with the soft blue florals, it creates that rustic romantic balance. It softens everything, adds life, and gently completes the space. As I moved to this side of the kitchen counter, I started by layering this wooden riser to hold my cocktail shaker and bar tools. It gives everything a proper place instead of having pieces scattered across the counter, and the one wood softens all the metals and glass around it. On the left, I placed the 3 vintage style martini glasses. They feel playful, a little nostalgic, and I love how the small illustrations and touch of blue and personalities without overpowering the space. They make this corner feel ready for a slow evening drink or a little hosting moment. Behind the bar tools, I layered 2 small frantic landscape pieces from Hearth Hand. They bring in that old world feeling I love, and the darker tones make this corner feel more intimate and grounded. Next to that, I brought in this Thrift soft blue lamp. I love the classic shape. It feels a little unexpected in the kitchen. The Thrift blue shades also tie back to the blue and white story happening in the other corners, but in a soft and hazy way. Moving to the right, I layered this marble tray from HomeGoods. I love the rich, earthy veinings and how the brown tones add depth and texture. On top, I brought in this Swift-iced bucket with the prettiest aged copper finish and vineyard-inspired details, along with Swift glass white decanter. I was immediately drawn to its sculptural shape, geometrical curved handle. I tucked my cleaning supplies behind everything, so they're still accessible for daily use, but not the first things you see. I love how the corpus and glass play against the silver board tools and soft blue tones around them. To soften everything, I added this large whipped glass vase from at home with baby breath. It brings in so much airness and movement, almost like a cloud spilling into the corner, and makes the whole space feel more romantic. In front, I left this cocktail book open, almost like an invitation. It adds that living feel, like this space is not just styled for the eye, but ready to be used and enjoyed. Moving to the space near the stove. On the right, I create a small cooking section. I started with another wooden riser, slightly smaller than the one in my coffee area, but also from HomeGoods. The wood grain has that warm vintage feel, which I really love here. On top, I placed this blue and white drawer I found on clearance at HomeGoods. I removed the lid and turned it into a utensil holder, which feels practical but still collected. The classic patterns add that timeless, traditional kitchen feel while keeping the space fresh and light. I filled it with a new set of wooden utensils for a small everyday refresh. Next to it, I added this Thrift spoon rest from the Hearth Hand collection. I love the gentle scalloped edge. It adds just enough texture while still feeling soft and understated. When I'm cooking, I'm putting it forward to rest my utensil, but for now, I'm using it as a small dish to hold my Thrift oil dispenser, and that rich, earthy tone instantly warms up the space. Next to that, I placed these vintage silver pitchers. I'm obsessed with this unique double handle detail. It feels almost sculptural. Paired with the one gold flatware, it brings in that old world collective tone while still being useful every day. To hide the outlet, I hung another lightweight Hearth Hand piece. The dusty blues and soft sage green feels calm, vintage, and quietly layered, while the one wood flanks adds a little earthy softness, and because it's lightweighted, I can easily move it whenever I need access. Beside it, I have a Magnolia cookbook stand holding this Thrift cookbook called Simple. I love the clean title and minimal spine, and the pasta on the covers adds such a warm, living feeling. Finally, I placed this vintage wild bowl as a holder for my kitchen towel. I love the airy shape and the aged metal finish. It adds subtle patina without feeling heavy. Since I reach for towels constantly when cooking, it felt important to keep one here, practical but still part of the look. On the left side of the stove, I created sections for serving pieces. I started layering 2 serving boards at the back to cover the outlet. I love their timeless shape, curved tops, and how the rich wood tones instantly add warmth when leaning together. Next to them, I layered a Thrift flank in this deep navy tone with a digital print of an antique drawer inside. The distracted blue finish adds character without feeling too heavy. Then I built out the base with a couple of books. One is this coffee table book called Antique Table, which I found at Fetch Thrift Shop in Frederick, Maryland. They have the sweetest cat adoption corner. The book itself feels perfect for a collective home, classic, detailed, and beautiful enough to style on its own. I layered another recent thrift file on top, cooking on the bones. I love the bold typography and minimal cover. It feels clean, striking, and effortlessly elevates even when let out. On top, I placed my salt and pepper grinders from Amazon. As to that, I added this Anthropologie ceramic quid for my soy sauce. The sculptural shape, soft green glaze, and sparkled finish, and that earthy, vintage touch, while still being completely functional. I also placed the small checkerboard coaster set here to bring in that subtle pattern while keeping everything neutral and timeless. On the right side, I have this sweet blue ginger jar that I featured in another styling video. Here's a ultra soft, elegant pattern, and here it doubles as a tissue holder while still looking decorative. Behind that, I tack in our weighting scale. Since my husband and I are being more mindful with meals, it needs to stay accessible, but I still wanted it to sit quietly in the background. And finally, I added this hand-painted thrift bowl as a catch-all. I love the pastel base in detailed edges. It feels like a true statement piece. I use it constantly for my watch, sunglasses, and little charging cables, so it naturally became part of our everyday rhythm. And that completes this side, layered, functional, and quite collided, with that blue and white heritage tone woven into our everyday rhythm. Moving to the sink area, I started with these wooden risers to give everything a appropriate home. On top, I placed this lemon pattern hand soap from HomeGoods, and next to it is ribbed glass dispensers for dish soap. The blue ties back to the rest of the kitchen so beautifully. For the sponges and brush, I used this thrift blue and white planter as the small holder. I love that it gets everything contented while still feeling collective and decorative. And in front, I placed this vintage silver dish as a catch-all for my rings and jewelries, since I'm always taking them off when I cook or wash dishes. It's very simple little sink moment, but still functional, pretty, and tied into the blue and white silhouettes of the kitchen. Moving to the island, I wanted to create a soft serving moment, something ready for hosting, but still relaxed and easy to move when we need a counter space. On the right, I placed this large blue and white planter with hydrangeas. I started with this woven tray from the thresholds with studio magnet light as the base. I love the warmth and textures it brings in against the dark countertop, and it keeps everything contented so the setouts feel intentional. Inside the tray, I layered a few cocktail books for height, then placed these blue and green glasses from H&M on top. I love the playful patterns and how the colors tie back to the blue story throughout the kitchen. Next to that, I add a few plates, leaving this lemon plates on top. I also layered this sweet blue floral napkin across the front. It adds softness, the patterns, and that living feeling, like the table is almost ready to be used, not just styled it. The yellow brings in such a cheerful notes and softens all the blue with something sunny and seasonal. I added the blue candles nearby to carry the color through. In this small vintage coaster set from a local antique shop for one more collected detail. And that's the island moment. Soft, welcoming, romantic, with woven textures, florals, blue and white heritage charms, and pieces ready for everyday living and simple hosting. And that's how everything came together in our kitchen. What I love most is that nothing feels too perfect or too precious. Every corner has a purpose, but also a little softness. Blue and white, a wall charms, one wood, one silvers, and three fights with their own quiet stories. This is still a working kitchen. We make coffee, cook, wash dishes, pour drinks, and drop our everyday things here. But now, these small routines feel a little more beautiful. And that's the magic of stylings with thrifts and collected pieces. They make a space feel layered, personal, and living. So, whether you love thrift home decor, brewing white kitchen styling, traditional decor, and making a outdated kitchens feel beautiful before renovation, I hope this gives you a little inspiration. And thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!